People keep getting angry at realtors who are saying now is a good time to buy. Do they have a point? Maybe. The bottom line is there is never a perfect time to buy for everyone. A good time to buy for anyone, no matter what real estate market is doing and no matter what the interest rates are doing, is when A, you can afford it, you can qualify for the financing, and you're looking for a place to move, whether you need to upsize or downsize or just get out of an apartment and finally own something for your family. Right now, even though interest rates are high and home prices are high, things are unaffordable, which on the surface tells you that it shouldn't be a good time to buy for anyone. That's just wrong. One of the reasons that people are afraid to buy right now is they're being told that a crash is coming. And I've made other videos on this, and there's simply no data to support that. Prices are still appreciating, but they're now in a more normal range of 1% to 3% in most markets, especially here in California. This is because supply and demand is undefeated. Yes, there are higher rates, higher prices, but there just isn't that much inventory out there. There's more buyers still than there are sellers or homes for sale, although the ratio is getting closer. So why, if you can't afford it and you want a new home for your family and you can qualify for the financing, might this be a good time to buy, given all the other factors? One is, when just looking at the last few years, there is significantly less competition. This is a big deal. Many people simply can't afford to buy, and for them, this is not the right time. But for those that can, this could be a benefit because less competition brings many benefits to the buyer that just hasn't been there in the last few years. One is seller's concessions. This means that the seller is actually contributing money to the buyer so they can use to pay down their closing costs, pay all their closing costs, or buy down the rate, or some combination of those. Seller concessions just weren't a thing for the last few years, and in a normal market, they're generally going to be there. And we've entered a more normal market despite interest rates. One of the biggest ones, especially if you were looking at buying in the last couple of years but didn't, is you don't have to pay 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 over asking price to get into contract and buy a home. So even if that home would have been $500,000 2 years ago, and now it's $535,000 or whatever the number is, you still might be getting it for less than if you would have bought it in 2020 or especially 2021, because you wouldn't have had to pay more than it's worth. All those prospective buyers waiting for rates to drop are actually a godsend if you're actually looking for a home or even considering it. Let them sit on the sidelines. They've been doing it for years and they just keep getting in a worse situation as far as if they want to buy a home. So yes, when realtors say now is a good time to buy, they may be being disingenuous and just trying to drum up business. That happens. This is what we do for a living. That being said, for some people, it's always a good time to buy. If you're looking for a home and you can make it work, it's definitely worth considering. It might be a good time for you. Now, I'm not going to be one of these mortgage professionals, and I use professionals lightly when I'm talking about some of the other people on this app that are going to say stupid things like marry the home and date the rate. These people have been saying that for 2.5 years now, telling others, oh, you can just refinance in 6 months. Setting that expectation is just wrong, and I never told anybody that. Thankfully, because it's now been, again, 2.5 years, and they're still married to that rate too. If you like this content and want any other information, please follow me and reach out if you have any questions.